Trump just lost access to a crypto wallet holding $500 million, and his first reaction? Blame China. It sounds like the setup for a bad political joke, but here's what insiders are saying actually happened. According to leaked reports, the private keys, those crucial strings of characters that control access to any crypto wallet, were either misplaced or stolen. And in Trump's case, the wallet reportedly held a mix of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and a few ultra-speculative altcoins. What's bizarre is that this wasn't a new wallet. This was an old stash, supposedly set aside during his post-presidency phase when he was experimenting with crypto investments. Sources say Trump had long been skeptical of crypto, calling Bitcoin a scam as recently as 2 years ago. But behind closed doors, he'd apparently been hoarding coins as a hedge. So how did the keys vanish? One theory points to a personal assistant who was recently fired. The assistant, known only by the nickname JD, had access to some of Trump's tech infrastructure and may have known about the location of the private keys. Another theory, though, is far more sensational: that a sophisticated phishing attack, allegedly originating from China, compromised one of Trump's devices and siphoned off the information. This is where Trump's public statements get wild. Within hours of discovering the missing funds, he jumped on Truth Social, his personal platform, firing off posts blaming the Chinese Communist Party and Beijing cyber spies for the theft. But cybersecurity experts aren't convinced. People close to the situation point out that crypto keys don't just vanish because of foreign hackers. More often, they're lost due to human error, a misplaced USB drive, a corrupted password manager, or even an accidental factory reset on a critical device. Still, Trump's camp is pushing the China narrative hard. His legal team is reportedly drafting public statements, framing this as part of a larger economic attack by China on US interests. Whether that's strategic posturing or genuine belief, no one's sure. What we do know is that this missing $500 million isn't just a personal embarrassment, it could have massive ripple effects. Trump was allegedly planning to use some of those funds to finance upcoming political projects, media expansions, and even a possible return to the national stage. Without access to that war chest, his next moves might be significantly hampered. On the crypto side, the news has already shaken parts of the market. Trump's wallet, once identified on public blockchain explorers, has been a kind of open secret among certain investors. Watching that wallet suddenly go dark, no outgoing or incoming transactions, has fueled speculation, panic selling, and wild rumors across Reddit, Twitter, and Telegram groups. One particularly crazy theory making the rounds: that Trump himself staged the loss as a way to dodge financial disclosures or avoid certain liabilities. That idea, while spicy, lacks hard evidence. But in the world of crypto, where trust is thin and conspiracy theories thrive, even baseless rumors can move markets. Behind the scenes, exchanges are watching closely. While the missing funds are in Trump's personal wallet, not on any centralized platform, some believe there's a chance the coins could eventually be moved through mixers or privacy-focused coins to obscure their origin. This raises legal questions. If stolen, can exchanges freeze assets? Should they? And if Trump himself moves the funds under a different identity, would that count as fraud? Meanwhile, Chinese officials have denied any involvement, calling Trump's accusations baseless and absurd. Beijing's foreign ministry issued a sharp statement warning against reckless defamation, which only seems to have fired up Trump's base even more. At this point, the private keys are still missing, and no credible hacker group has come forward claiming responsibility. Blockchain analytics firms are scanning for large movements that might indicate the funds are being relocated, but so far, the coins remain frozen, inaccessible to anyone. The stakes go beyond one man's lost fortune. This event spotlights just how fragile and personal crypto security really is. Even a former US president, with all his resources, bodyguards, and legal teams, isn't immune to the harsh reality of decentralized finance. If you lose your keys, you lose your money. Period. For Trump supporters, this has turned into a rallying cry. Another example of how the world is supposedly aligned against him. For his critics, it's an almost poetic moment. Watching a man who boasted about winning in power now stumbling over the same pitfalls that trap everyday investors. What's next? Insiders suggest Trump is considering offering a public bounty, a reward for anyone who can recover the lost keys or trace the theft. There's also talk that he's quietly reaching out to major crypto firms, hoping for a backdoor solution, though most experts agree there's no backdoor in cryptography. Once the keys are gone, they're gone. If the funds were indeed stolen, the thief faces the challenge of laundering $500 million without drawing attention. That's not easy in today's crypto landscape, where every blockchain move is monitored and analyzed by armies of bots and analysts. On the flip side, if the loss was just a mistake, an old password forgotten, or a backup misplaced, it's possible, though unlikely, that the keys could resurface. Either way, the drama has only just begun. Already, political commentators are speculating on how Trump might spin this into an advantage. Some suggest he'll frame the event as a new front in the ongoing US-China rivalry, using the supposed cyber attack as evidence of Beijing's aggressive interference not just in politics, but in personal wealth. Expect fiery speeches, interviews, and maybe even campaign ads pushing the idea that China is after your crypto, just like they were after mine. Others think this loss might shake Trump's confidence, at least behind the scenes. $500 million is no small dent, even for a billionaire. Losing that kind of liquidity could force him to reshuffle financial plans, sell assets, or bring in new investors, and that kind of money movement is bound to attract attention from both the press and government regulators. Meanwhile, the crypto community is split. Some die-hard Trump supporters are flooding online forums, defending him, claiming he's the victim of a globalist plot or a deep state attack using Chinese cyber tools. Others in the space are mocking the situation, posting memes of Trump fumbling with a ledger wallet or misplacing a seed phrase written on a post-it note. Amid all this noise, one thing remains clear. The case is a perfect storm of politics, technology, and human error. Security experts are now warning the public not to treat this as just celebrity gossip. They're reminding everyone that losing access to a crypto wallet isn't a Trump-specific problem, it's a universal risk in decentralized finance. If you don't have secure backups, if you rely on memory or unencrypted files, you're one mistake away from total loss. There's also a legal angle developing. While losing keys isn't a crime, if Trump's team were to start accusing entities or governments without evidence, they might open themselves up to defamation or international diplomatic backlash. Already, there's chatter that Chinese diplomats are preparing formal complaints over Trump's statements. Financial markets, too, are bracing. If Trump decides to liquidate other assets to cover the missing funds, that could send ripples through the sectors where he's invested. And if he starts publicly pointing fingers at crypto exchanges or blockchain firms, it could trigger investigations, lawsuits, or new regulatory scrutiny. What no one knows yet is whether the missing keys will ever resurface. History shows that when high-profile crypto holders lose access, recovery is rare. There are infamous stories like the guy who accidentally threw away a hard drive with hundreds of millions in Bitcoin and is now digging through landfills. Trump's story could join that sad hall of fame. But Trump being Trump, there's also the chance that he'll turn this fiasco into a spectacle. Live-streamed treasure hunts for old hard drives, public auctions of Trump-themed NFTs to raise replacement funds, or media tours blaming his political enemies. In the end, this situation isn't just about money, it's about pride, reputation, and power. Losing the keys isn't just losing access to $500 million. It's losing the image of control, strength, and invulnerability that Trump has cultivated for decades. For now, the crypto sits locked on the blockchain, untouchable, watching the world swirl in rumors, accusations, and headlines.